8 years ago, I was living on an island off of Hong Kong, and I got a phone call in the middle of the night. It was my mom calling from Riverside Hospital in Toronto. "Come home," she said. "Your dad's dying." I raced to the airport, and when I got to the hospital, my dad was still alive. And his eyes were open, but he didn't have a lot of life left in him. So my family gathered in and said our goodbyes, and we thought that this was it. But my dad, whose motto in life was never give up, just wasn't ready to give up. It was the first time in a long time we'd all been together as a family, and he just wanted to be together with all of us. So we hung on. Have you ever watched a person starve to death? Now imagine that person's your dad. My dad was my person growing up. He taught me how to ride a bike, how to swim, how to paddle a canoe, how to ski down a mountain. He picked me up at the side of the road when I ran away with my little blue suitcase as a little girl. And when I was having a bad day, he'd take me to Baskin-Robbins for our favorite Rocky Road ice cream. We watched him as he went from the man that we knew to someone that was on his way out. And slowly he deteriorated in front of our eyes. On what would be the last night of his life, I slept in his hospital room. And in the middle of the night when the nurses came to check on him, I woke up and the curtains were drawn open and there was a full moon in the sky. And my dad just lay there looking at it. And I sat up and I held his hands and I told him all the things that I wanted to say. I told him that I was sorry. I was sorry for running away to the other side of the world, and I was sorry that I wasn't there for him. And even though we couldn't talk, he squeezed my hand and he looked at me, and I knew that I was forgiven. And the next day, with my brother and my mom and I holding his hands, my dad took his last breath. That week together and my dad's death, it changed my life. 2 weeks later, I was on another plane, taking another job. I lived in 10 countries in 10 years. I saw the sunrise from the summit of Mount Kinabalu. I went to the Arctic and I saw herds of wild muskox, and I swam with crocodiles. And all of those things were amazing, but none of them changed my life. It's because temporary change isn't real change. And then 4 years ago, I was walking and a firefly flew right up in front of me. And I hadn't seen a firefly since my dad died. And I was totally stunned, and I stuck up my finger and the firefly landed right on the tip of my finger. And I was so shocked I completely forgot where I was, and I said, "Dad?" And of course it wasn't him, and as soon as I said that, it was gone. And it didn't matter, because I thought to myself, what if it's not about all those moments? What if the moment that changes everything is just the moment that I decide to change?
I've spent my whole life chasing something outside of myself. It wasn't that my life wasn't good. It's just that happiness, real happiness, always felt like it was right around the corner. But everything changed for me when I decided to stop chasing happiness. I decided to stop looking all over the world for a moment or an experience or a person to change my life. And I decided to create that change myself. The moment I decided to change my life is the moment that my life began to change.